council has left. My name is Mboya. I am on record for the fifth respondent. Your Ladyship and my lords, the actions of the chairman of the Electoral Commission can be evaluated using several instruments. And I believe the first instrument that we need to use in examining the whole issues that are before this court is the oath that the commissioners take. The oath is in the third schedule of the IEBC Act, so that for every action, we juxtapose that oath to those actions, so that we test if the actions meet the tenets of that oath. And permit me to read what that oath says, and it's taken by all the commissioners. It states, I, then they say their name, having been appointed chairperson or member, as it can be, of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, do solemnly swear that I will at all times obey, respect, and uphold the Constitution of Kenya and all other laws of the Republic of Kenya. That is the oath they take. That I will faithfully and fully, impartially, and to the best of my ability discharge that trust and perform the functions and exercise the powers devolving upon me by virtue of the appointment without fear, favor, bias, affection, ill will, or prejudice. That is the promise that they are giving to the people of Kenya and to the whole world. Now, for every action that the chairman did, which I'll not go into because this particular affidavit of the fifth respondent has been cross-referenced by my other senior counsel and also learned colleagues who spoke before me. We juxtapose those actions against that oath that they took. So, for example, if we are talking about issuing a gazette notice, you look at that gazette notice with the law, then juxtapose it to the oath, if it meets that promise that they gave. Your Ladyship and my lords, the fifth respondent is now affectionately called opaque. Affectionately. I say that because arising out of what transpired at the National Tallying Center, the four issued a statement in which they said they cannot own the results that were going to be announced by the chairman, and therefore they were opaque. Your Ladyship and my lords, that term opaque is not coming from the ordinary. It's a term that was given by the Court of Appeal when they were making a decision in another matter, which is now famous here, called the Main Kiai matter, which when they were looking at the role of the chairman vis-a-vis the other commissioners. And the court did indicate that to suggest that one individual alone can tally and verify the votes for presidential election is to suggest otherwise, to introduce opaqueness and arbitrariness to the electoral process. Those were the words of that court. Members of the court, we might ask if the chairman, as indicated from the affidavits that we have had, that it was his responsibility alone to tally and verify the results, then the question is, what were the other commissioners supposed to be doing on that election day? Were they supposed to sit at home and watch the screens just like any other Kenyans? But then again, the chairman went ahead and allocated them duties. With respect to the fifth respondent was given the role of media. In that role, the fifth respondent was supposed to explain even to the media why what they were reading, the results they were reading, are not being projected on the screens. The results that they read were not projected from Friday 13th. And when that question was put to the chairman to refresh, the chairman said, no, I'm tallying from the back end. Your ladyship and my lords, the sum total of this whole transaction is that the chairman usurped the powers of the commission. And it's our submission that after all is said and done, and after we get the reports of the verification, I believe that this court will arrive at a conclusion that the chairman of the Electoral Commission was actually an agent of a presidential candidate. That presidential candidate we will know by 5th of September. And if that's going to be the case, lastly, it's our submission that this court must go further and look at the theory of agency. All the conspirators that did any illegalities, all irregularities, are agents of one another. The person who benefited from those irregularities and illegalities is a co-conspirator with the persons who perpetrated it, and they are agents of one another. And for that reason, we would urge that this court makes appropriate decision with that particular issue in mind. I call upon my learned colleague